Okay, what's going on, guys? Killer D here with another Bleach Mortal Souls video, and today I wanted to go over the new stuff that they did with the soul halts, because they did change up the system. Got a lot, honestly. It's a lot, and some of you veteran players might be thinking that I don't like this new change. You took some stuff away from us, and it was good the way it was. Maybe you just need to change the stats on certain soul halts, like Vermilion Bird, because they were kind of like the weakest soul hall, in my opinion. They had the weakest characters, but it does seem like with the new characters they're going to put in, Vermilion soul hall characters are going to be, they're going to have real good characters. Off the top of my head, the new Nell is going to be great, and then the Sayaporo is going to be a good unit as well. So there's two good units that are coming out of the Vermilion Bird soul hall. I have to do an overview on the rest of them just to really give you guys my honest opinion, but I know for a fact off the top of my head those two units are going to be good units for the Vermilion Bird. So I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be using them for the Vermilion Bird Soul Hall Extreme Challenge, and if you're not, then you should, because those two units are going to be pretty good. I'm pretty sure those two units are AoE characters, and they are bleed and poison, if I'm correct. But yeah, I think like the veteran players are going to have the most to complain about this new update, because they took away the 4/6 buff that you got from, like, for example, in the Zero Dragon Soul Hall. So they took that away, and they kind of revamped the whole system in a bit. So we still have the original Soul Hall, but instead of having Soul Hall buff for 4 and 6, they watered it down to just 2. And then if we you check, they also included Azure Dragon Sage Soul Hall, which is going to be a bit interesting. That may be the only change that I do not like, in my opinion, because now let's just go over it so you guys can see. So now if you look at this, like the buff right here, in order to get this buff, which is decreased damage taken by all allies in the first 2 rounds by 34%, you're going to need Ichigo fully holified, 1 white tiger, 1 vermilion bird, and 1 black tortoise. Now, I'm pretty sure Ichigo fully holified is going to be in Zero Dragon, so we already know he's going to rate first. And then the reason I'm saying he's going to be in the Zero Dragon is because I saw the Black Tortoise and Vermilion Bird, and then that unit that's in there, they correspond with that soul hall. So I'm pretty sure you're going to need 1. If you really look at it, it's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, but you just need white Ichigo in order to get that buff. That's one thing I don't like, because you're kind of like making us have to use that unit in order to get this buff. And then if you look a bit below, in order to get this buff with the mastery skill damage, oh wait, hold on, yeah, with the mastery skill damage, you are going to need 3 Azure Dragons and then 1, 1, 1. So they took away the 4 and they watered it down to 3, so that's good. Now you don't have to feel pressured about having 3, like 4 really good Azure Dragons, because there's a lot of good units, and especially Azure Dragon, because it has such a huge roster, you might be like a little bit conflicted on what to run. Running 6 Azure Dragon was super easy because it had so many good units. They kind of water it down. Now you can pick 3 of the best Azure Dragon, then you can kind of mix and match, see what team is good for you. And then every soul hall has their own really good units, so now you can go pick 1 white tiger, 1 vermilion bird, and then 1 black tortoise, and you'll get these buffs. So that's one thing that I see why they made the change. I just don't like that they're forcing us to have that 1 unit. In my opinion, I think it's better if, instead of having Ichigo fully holified, make it that we need 1 UR character in order to proc that buff. And that's going to solve that issue right there, because then you don't need to have Ichigo fully holified. You can either run Yamamoto, you can run Aizen, who else can you run? I think that's about it for Zero Dragon. Oh no, you can run Zangetsu, you can run Urahara. It kind of opens up the possibilities to the characters that you can use in order to activate that buff. There's requirements now, and you need Ichigo fully holified for here. I think they should scrap that out and change it to, you need 1 UR character. That's going to change it. That's going to make it better. It's going to be a better improvement, because now you're not really like stuck to using Ichigo fully holified. And then don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure these units are going to be good. I just don't like that they're kind of like telling us you have to use one character in order to get this buff. But other than that, changes to the update are real good actually. I like them. One thing that you guys might not notice is that, or you guys will notice, is that in order to upgrade these statues now, they took away the jades, and you no longer need to own the character. So before you needed to own a character in order to level them up with jades. You still could have leveled them up with gold, but now they took that out completely. If you do not own a character, this is my free-to-play account. I don't own any of these characters, and I was able to max out this is Ururu Dragon Soul Hall. So that's good, because this would not I would not have been able to do this pre this update. So pre this update, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to max them out. You know, that I like this new system. You know, they added a new currency, so that's a little bit disappointing because now we have to farm that. You know, if you're a brand new player, this is a pretty good time to come in, because they made new changes to Soul Hall, and it's going to be real easy to make teams. You know, you don't have to worry about certain units on Soul Hall buffs. We're all going to start from 0, and we're going to move our way up. But yeah, I like the new system. The leveling system is a lot better. Free to play, even if you don't own these characters, better overall. And then if you level up your original Soul Hall, so if you look right here in the bottom where it says Soul Hall Dragon level 14, it says increase the attributes for all Ururu Dragon Soul Hall characters. So that's going to be the buff that they're going to get. And then if you look over to the sages, that's going to be increasing the stats of all characters. So everybody that you own is going to be increased by that amount. That's the reason why that one's smaller, because this one is going to increase just those specific characters in there. So it's really up to you on how you want to level them up. Let me go on another Soul Hall. It's really up to you on how you want to level up. You know, right here at level 45, you're going to need 27 of those crystals. And then if you go down to sages, it's still going to be the same. But it really depends how you want to level them up, because if you go all in this one, you're not losing anything on this one, because the level is going to be the same. The level corresponds with the other sages Soul Hall. So if they only made it where Black Tortoise Soul Hall leveled up and then Sage's Soul Hall didn't level up, then that would be a bit of a problem. But it's not. It's if you level up Black Tortoise statue, it's gonna correspond with all the Soul Halls. So that's good. And as of right now, we don't even really have these units yet. They might come this week. They might come in 2 weeks, maybe in a month from now. We don't know yet. But as of right now, you don't need to really, I guess, invest too much into this. It is going to increase all the characters, but if you invest heavily in the original Soul Halls, it's going to give you a bigger buff. And if you do this with all 4, which you probably should be doing, because now that there's 222, you're going to have to invest at least 3 Soul Halls. And yeah, at least 3 Soul Halls. But let's go over the Soul Halls so you guys can see what changed. So for Ururu Dragon, with 2 Ururu Dragon now, instead of crit chance and then critical damage, now they changed it to attack, and I want to say that's damage rate. So they changed that out. That used to be the White Tiger's buff, which I think it's better on the White Tiger. Honestly, it's better on the White Tiger, but they changed that. And then if we look over to the sages, so for having Ichigo fully hollified, 1 White Tiger, 1 Vermilion Bird, a Black Tortoise, you're going to get that decreased damage taken by all allies in the first 2 rounds by 34%, which is a pretty huge chunk of damage that you're mitigating. That's about, it's you know 30%. That's a good amount right there. This is going to be a buff that's going to go across the board for all the Soul Halls. The only thing that's going to change is if you go down below, it's going to be another requirement. You're going to need Ichigo fully hollified, which is going to be in the Ururu Dragon. 2 more Ururu Dragons, 1 White Tiger, 1 Vermilion Bird, and then 1 Black Tortoise. So essentially it's going to be 3 Ururu Dragons, 1 White Tiger, 1 Vermilion Bird, 1 Black Tortoise. You're going to keep that buff, that damage taken reduced by 34%. And then instead of, it used to be that the first rage skill would be, damage would be increased by like a certain percentage. I think max was like 20%, like 12% I want to say, before this update. And now they swapped that out for mastery skill damage, which was never there. This is a lot better than when it was before, because you know, you would do that first rate skill damage as your Azure Dragon, then it would go away. You know, after that, that buff was, you know, gone. But now it's mastery skill damage, which, you know, you have an infinite amount of time doing mastery skill damage. You know, you could do it in the first round, then if you don't do it, you do it in the next round or the round after that. But I like this buff because it is going to buff it by, for me right now, it's 24%. And then you can also buff mastery skill damage with talents. There's, I think it's let's see, Sasakibe, Unahana, I want to say, and Cone. And I feel like there's a fourth one, but you're able to buff mastery skill damage with those specific talents, and with a Uryu warsoul, it buffs it as well. So, you know, you're able to buff mastery skill damage by a lot now. So Azure Dragon's looking real strong right now. I like that new change that they did with them. Let's go over to the White Tigers. So you guys can see the change. So as I said, you know, they swapped that buff out. You know, it used to be damage rate over here. Now they changed it to crit chance and crit strength. That's good also. You know, now you know your White Tigers are gonna have higher crit chance if you're running 2, maybe even 3. And crit strength, which their crits are gonna hit harder. Let's check over the Sage's Sohal. So like I said, this is gonna be the same across the board. All of them are the same. But if you have Grimjaw Resurrection, it's gonna be a White Tiger with 2 additional White Tigers, 1 Azure Dragon, 1 Vermilion Bird, and then 1 Black Tortoise. Then you're gonna get, when a character dies, gains a damage increase of 1.4%, and damage reduction plus 1%, maximum of 4 stacks. So before, I want to say that it was stacks of like 11 or 10 pre-update, so they brought it down to 4. I'm a little disappointed in that, but this is still a pretty good buff if you have it leveled up to a decent level. And right now I have a level 6, so it's going to increase. If 4 characters died, that means I would have an increase of 5.2% and then 4% damage reduction. So it's still pretty good. It's just you're gonna, yeah, it's just gonna be a little, you're gonna have to play with it a little bit. Then for Vermilion Bird, they completely took away the effect accuracy. So that's, I don't know if that's good or not. You know, maybe I kind of was looking forward to using the effect accuracy with certain characters, with CC characters, but they took that out. So now it's attack plus 6, and then life plus 5. Which I want to say it's lifesteal, but I'm not sure. Or maybe it's HP. If it's HP, they could have just put HP. But that's going to be for having 2 Vermilion Birds. If we look over to the Sages, you are going to need Nell Resurrection, who's going to be a Vermilion Bird. 1 Azure Dragon, 1 White Tiger, 1 Black Tortoise. To activate the buff on the bottom, you're going to need 3 Vermilion Birds, including Nell. Or Nell's included in that. 1 Azure Dragon, White Tiger, and then 1 Black Tortoise. They kept the recover rage after using rage skill, so hopefully this gets up even higher, because 80 is not a lot right now. But if they bring it up to like maybe like 200 or like 300, then it will be real good, really good. You'll be able to regen a lot of health. Rage. And then for the Black Tortoise, so they actually took out the block chance, which isn't a big deal because you can get it off other stuff. It was only, I think, like, well, it might have been like 20%. I have to check. But they took out the block chance. They swapped it out with block strength. So that's good, I guess. You know, it's in a sense, it's good. You know, they kept the damage reduction rate. That's good. And then for the Sage's Sohal buff, you're gonna need Ukiora, who's the Black Tortoise. A Resurrection, 1 Azure Dragon, 1 White Tiger, and then 1 Vermilion Bird. For the buff on the bottom, you're going to need 3 Black Tortoise with Ukiora included in that. 3. 1 Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird. And then the buff that you're going to get is regenerate 5% of HP just lost after being attacked. So they kept that heal, so that's good. May not be as good as before, but you know, it's still all, Black Tortoise is still going to be good. But that's going to be the buff for all the Sohals. As of right now, we don't know how Genesis is gonna look. You know, it could be good, it could be bad. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be moving in the right direction. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to those. Looking forward to the new units to try these out to see which one Sohal is gonna be the best for which game mode. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about the video. Which soul halls are you gonna use? Which one are you guys most excited on planning on using? And then if you guys have any comments, questions, please put them in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, have a good one.